I want to talk a bit about in terms of how to use RSI for momentum names. You guys might have seen a whole bunch of YouTube videos of mine in terms of how I use RSI. So you know what? Let me make one more. Gonna make things life a lot easier if you see it a bunch of times. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. It's gonna keep me motivated to make more. So let's see what's going on. Right in the morning, I traded this AMRN. Let's look at this AMRN. So I was watching this AMRN. I mean, if you look on the daily chart, I mean, this chart actually looks pretty good, right? I mean, you see this rising stock, and it kind of feels like, you know what, no matter what you do, you can actually do no wrong. So if you try to buy the dips, chances are you might actually be in the money. So what I was trying to observe on here, first thing in the morning is I saw this stock open up big, right, and then it had this down move. My first intention on this one was to buy the dip, right? So if you look at around 936, this is all 1 minute candles on here. So somewhere around 936, I was trying to buy this push. I was looking for this to break over here and looking for the push up, right? I was looking for this trade, really intending for it to come here and start trending back up. I mean, if you look on the daily chart, let's look on the daily chart over here. Daily chart, I mean, the stock is up, so I want to buy the dip, hoping for a rebound. But what is there to notice on here on the daily chart is there is divergence, right? So I talk a lot about RSI divergence. So something which I didn't really notice at that point of time when I put on the trade, because I was just looking at the chart pattern, didn't concentrate much on RSIs. What you will notice on here is you have this stock trending up. However, the momentum is actually dying down, right? So what it means is there is a divergence in the momentum. So when there is divergence, chances are there is going to be the stock is going to trade not that great, right? Because there is divergence. Sometimes it can work, sometimes it does not, but there's a higher probability of it failing. So that's exactly what happened. I mean, when I got in, somewhere over here, trying to play the push over here for it to up, down, hoping for another push. Didn't really work out. There's a big divergence coming into play. So here's what I thought. Hey, you know what? Let the stock actually come in, and maybe I'll buy the dip, right? So I'll try to buy the dip. So what I saw on here, my next attempt, if you look at around 946, was right here. When I saw this stock trend nicely to this 20-day moving average, and now it has this gigantic momentum and a big bar over here, right? Hoping for it to break and start to trend higher. Once again, it didn't work, right? Because the bigger picture is what dominates the smaller picture. So in the bigger picture, the momentum is kind of loosening up. Chances are, if you try to trade the smaller picture and try to trade the bounce, it's not going to work. That's exactly what happened. Got in at 2048, sold at 20 cents. The first one I had a loss of 25 cents. The other one I had a loss of 10 cents. So I lost about 35. So it's down about $100 or so on, right? So on this trade. Now, next what I saw on here was the YGI, right? So now you'll see a significant difference between the RSIs. Let's remove all the trend lines, right? So if you look at this YGI a few days ago, back on October the 9th, you had this big move, right? It went from 730 to $11, so nice push. And now we had a sideways consolidation. Now the question really was, is this momentum going to be tagged on with the RSI or not, right? Because if last time you see a bunch of times it did try to spike up and then spike down, right? One of the reasons why it didn't really work out on last time is once again waning momentum, right? There's momentum is actually shifting down. If you look on this particular candle, the RSI on this one was 71.99. On this one, even though it looks like 73.99, but on this one, you see the RSI on here is 76.04. On this one is 73, right? So with the rising price, you're seeing the momentum actually fading. That's one of the reasons why you see all these spikes and not really working out, right? So what was different about today? I mean, if you look on this particular candle, right, The RSI on this one was 71.51, right? You see on the RSI over here. By the time we came in today, the RSI was almost at 74, 75s, right? So not only is it a great pattern on the flag one, right? Flag patterns goes up, goes sideways, and goes up. One of the reasons why it really worked was the RSI is actually going with it. It's not that the RSI is diverging. So that's one of the reasons why it actually worked really well. So all my intention really was, you know what, I saw this stock coming on my radars. Now my intention was to how to get in the name. So I got in this name at 10:04, which is on this candle, right? I was waiting for this stock, trying to see if it can break over this 10:30, which was yesterday's high, which was actually almost today's high as well, 10:30, 10:35. So when I saw this big candle, that's when I got in. I got 450 shares at 10:38. The first push was really nice, so I got out over here at 11:39. I did get out more over here at 11:76, and then the stock halted. After the stock halted, it got reopened, and then I got some of my sells at 12.21 and so on, and did go on to go to 14 bucks. But the higher probability trade was down here, right, where you see a rising momentum with a rising price, which means there is momentum is actually with it, right? It's not a declining momentum. You've seen an increase in momentum, increase in price, which makes it a higher probability trade. Now the question really is, what's next, right? If you take a look on this trade, what can happen now? Let's analyze this trade. Remove all trend lines. Okay, so let's see where the stock is now. So we know on the daily chart, you know what, this stock is trending up, right? Now, if you want to look at intraday charts, look on the 30-minute chart. Here is what I would like it to. I would like to happen. Right now we are around 11 o'clock, right? We're 11 o'clock. What I would like is for this to start going sideways, right? If the stock start going sideways, this RSI, which is at elevated, is at 77.49, most likely for it to settle down, right? So let the buyers and sellers trying to figure things out, what the hell is going on. And maybe somewhere around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we see a break of somewhere around 14.50 and have one more run, right? So because right now if you take a look at it, it is doing exactly what this RSI is telling you, right? I mean, for someone who did try to play the breakout over here, they might have made some money over here, but if you look at over here, high was 86.81. It never really went over 86 at all in the RSI, so there is a declining in momentum on the 5-minute chart. So there's I'm not saying that cannot work, but it's not a higher probability trade, right? Right. So I mean, few things. I mean, even though the RSI on this is strong, the stock has moved as low from 980 to almost 1440. That's almost about $4.50. Can it have more legs? Sure it can. What we really want is for RSI to cool down over here, right? And maybe some kind of pickup somewhere around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We are on Friday today as well. Hopefully it goes sideways and the RSI settles down, and then once it starts going, for the RSI to start picking up, that's where I will take another stab at it, right? I'm not sure if I have time to sit down and trade this again, but the first trade has been pretty profitable. Gotten 450 at 10:38, so made my first 150 bucks on the first trade. The second trade made about $1.40, and then $1.50, $1.70, right? So pretty profitable trade, made about 600 bucks on it, just on 450 shares. Just trying to play it based on RSI and daily chart patterns, see, which is a higher probability trade. So I showed you one, which is the one where RSI helped me to, I did not follow the RSI, and that's why the trade didn't really work. And there's a trade where I did follow the RSI and the trade worked beautifully, right? Any questions, do comment on there. Please do like and subscribe, and it's going to keep me motivated to make more videos for you guys. You guys have a great one.